The topic of today's meditation is healing the body. And so, in order to have this be as practical an experience as possible, I invite you to think about a symptom that you're currently experiencing in the physical body. And you might also just let the body express which one wants to be worked with today in our meditation. It's likely that we have more than one symptom, and it could be something that we've been dealing with for a long time or something that's just moving through, like a cold or a flu. So perhaps just let the body offer up what it wants to draw into this exploration today. And as you think about that symptom, different components may come to mind. So there may be a sensation somewhere in the body, like a physical experience of it. There could be memories of times when you've struggled with it. There could be emotions that arise: fear, confusion, frustration, impatience. And so the symptom itself is connected to a whole realm of details that, when open to, can actually guide us to what it is this symptom can possibly help to grow and evolve in our system, what it is it's here to help us to learn, you could say. And a symptom, even though it's manifesting on a physical level, because the body is not separate from the other territories of our being, our mind, our emotions, our soul, our energy, there are shifts that can happen in all of these aspects of our being when we begin to explore physical symptoms in this way. And the beauty of doing this here together today is that our efforts are potentiated by the collective attention that is being put on this particular way of understanding ourselves, understanding our body, and deepening our connection and relationship with our body. So one thing for sure is that the body is an ally on this journey that we're on, which is a spiritual journey. Whereas very often, particularly in the Western world, we see a physical symptom as a sign that the body is doing something wrong. And even though that may not be your viewpoint, a lot of these beliefs are so deeply ingrained that they do rise up and they do affect the way that we relate to physical symptoms. So as you think about this particular symptom that's happening in your body as an expression in the body, allow whatever other pieces and details show up. Again, you might manifest certain thoughts or beliefs. There may be some emotions that arise. And even as you first connect with the symptom, you may find that your breath changes a little bit, particularly if there's fear or some kind of stronger emotion associated with it. And so let's start there. So we use this symptom itself as a stepping off point. And then we sort of let it kind of go into the wings of our attention, you could say. And we begin to unpack, to allow to unpack all of the details that come along with the symptom in order to also unpack what it's here to teach us and how it's here to guide us to its healing as well. We'll find that when we do this work, oftentimes as we open in this way, we will get intuitive guidance as to how we can help this symptom to heal within our physical body. But let's begin with the breath. So as we think about this symptom and also connect with the breath, what do we notice about the breath? So be open to how the breath is expressing. Do you experience it as feeling short and restricted? Does it feel fast or slow? And just opening to that as a beautiful gateway deeper into the messages from our body. And as you be with the breath, notice that it may begin to show you more and more subtle aspects of it. And it also may begin to change. It may begin to soften a little bit. May begin to lengthen out. Just trust your own experience with it. Good. And then let's bring our awareness to the mental realm, to the thought world. And just notice as you think about this symptom, what thoughts arise. It could be in the form of memories. It could also be in the form of beliefs that you might have about the symptom, stories that you tell. Even the name of the symptom itself is in a way a story because it's just a label. And so we just recognize how the mind is relating to the symptom and what it has to say about it. And as we perceive the mind in this way, it gives us the opportunity to perhaps hold those thoughts and beliefs a little more lightly. So we have this option of just noticing the thoughts without hooking into them, noticing them as perhaps possibilities, but also as we connect to the realm of the mind, we sense that there may be other possibilities as well. So we're less caught, imprisoned by the thoughts and beliefs and memories that we might have had with the symptom to this point. And so maybe there's kind of a greater sense of wonder that we feel we can access within the mind realm. Beautiful. And then as we connect to the symptom, so we just titrate it in every once in a while, the thought of the symptom. And as we connect to it, what do we notice in the body? What shows up in the body? What comes to the surface in the body? So it could be sensations directly related to the symptom, but it also could be sensations in parts of the body that seemingly are not related to the symptom. So just notice when I think about this symptom and I open to the expression of my physical body in the form of sensations, what do I notice? Yeah, that's it. So you may notice tension in the shoulders and the back. You may be noticing aching in certain areas of the body. And the idea is to open to all of these things. These are all portals for information. But because we have a tendency to grasp at the pleasant, a lot of times these not so pleasant sensations, which are also information and intelligence, we lose the gifts that they have to bring us in our healing journey. So we open to, okay, how does my body feel in relation to this symptom? Where does it get tense? Where does it contract? Where does it feel heavy? And you open to that just with this great sense of curiosity and availability. To the stream of information that may be wanting to move through these areas. So we open to discomfort, not as something to get rid of, but something to embrace because it's part of our experience. It's part of what this moment is bringing forth, and we open to the possibility that it may well hold clues and pieces of the healing puzzle. And at the very least, these places that become tense when we're dealing with a symptom are actually obscuring the intuitive guidance that often comes when we're more relaxed. So just meeting these tense and uncomfortable places often is like a balm that helps them to begin to soften and relax, which then allows the light of intuition to flow through. It's like the system is bracing, and we need to just give it as many ways as possible to relax in the midst of what's happening so that we can be available to the moment and to this capacity for deep seeing that comes when we slow down and soften and relax. Nice. Just notice any shifts that are occurring in the physical body. And even sometimes it's just this kind of sense of just greater spaciousness. And again, one more time, just titrate that symptom back into the mind and into the rest of the being. And this time, let's acknowledge any feelings that and emotions that arise. They may be quite familiar to you. And you may have names for them. And you may just have kind of an experience of some kind of a stress or movement, percolation happening somewhere in the body. And actually, the labels are not that important. In fact, it's helpful to let go of labels because that generally helps us to bring a greater sense of curiosity and openness to the symptom. So I'm noticing an emotion, a feeling that co-arises with the symptom. And I expand the lens of my awareness to include them both together. And once we remove labels from emotions and feelings, then they blend into the energetic realm, so that whatever we're feeling is this subtle sensation that either feels stuck, or that feels stagnant, or that feels like it's in movement, that feels like it's shaking or vibrating. And so allow it to do whatever it's doing. There's nothing that needs to be changed here. So before we try to change anything, it's very important that we get to know it first. And usually when we get to know it, it changes all on its own. When we meet anything that's happening in any part of our being with this kind of radical openness, we actually give it permission to be. And with that permission, it feels the freedom and the space to unfold, to come to life in a way. Oftentimes, something that we have not been paying attention to, or that we've been suppressing, gets so encased that it really just can't express itself. But when we practice gazing at things with this sense of humility and curiosity, the space that's created allows whatever sensation, whatever energy, whatever feeling to begin to come to life again. And through that coming to life, to express, to inform, and to actually clear the clouds that are preventing our perception into a deeper understanding of the symptom and a deeper receptivity of the intelligence that is coming through this symptom. And as we meet the different layers of our being in the context of their relationship with the symptom that is currently in our life, there's a field that becomes available to us that is beyond the current beliefs or perspectives that we might have. And in this type of practice, it's important to just allow ourselves to rest and stay open within this field of presence. And through that, we may find that insights come, a capacity to relax and allow the body to heal in its own time, in its own way. But also, trickles of guidance may come through, if not in this meditation. As we move into our lives later on, we might get little hints or clues, simple things like, an urge to eat a particular type of food, or to stay away from another type of food, or a certain book that we might reach for that is somehow sparked by the clarity that's coming through this meditation, or to call someone that we typically call on to help us with emotions, because very often the root of any disease or symptom comes from the emotional and the energetic realm. And so once we enter into a more intimate relationship with our body and with the symptoms that we feel, now there's this possibility of this ongoing communication and a cooperative endeavor to help the body become a more powerful vessel for our lives and for our soul expression. And so we're going to move into a period of silence now, and you can either just kind of let go of the practice and stay open as you are, but you can also just titrate the thought of the symptom in every once in a while and just see what percolates up. Just see what sort of comes up and be open to that.